Hey guys.
Hi guys, I'm back here behind the camera.
Mom's having blood pressure problems, so she's behind the scenes. So the rocks finally came. Took them long enough. What?
Look at how I'm holding the camera.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
You can just turn it if you want.
Oh.
So these rocks are from Lifeguard. Didn't know they came individually wrapped, but here we are. So these are Ceru stones, which are a dark gray stone with white marbling in them. From Lifeguard. They're actually a pretty large rock. I was expecting smaller. We probably won't use all of these, but it's nice to have options as always. Oh, there's a good piece. So what we're going to do, and this is the last one, off camera, I'm going to go ahead and just rinse them. You just rinse them off underwater. It's nothing special. You don't need a strainer or anything like that. And then we're going to go and we're going to set up the tank. Okay, we'll be right back.
Alright guys, we're back.
Yes, we are. I put the wood back where it was, just because it takes a minute. I had to refer back to the pictures. I didn't actually this time, I just remembered it, but the wood is in. The rocks are rinsed. There's no way we're using all of the rock because it's very large rocks. But what I'm going to do is kind of pick out the ones I like, and I will show them real fast. Make sure it's on camera, so it's still show them the striations.
Yep.
So it's got lots of ledges and striations just to add some more detail to the tank. Sorry. Apologize to the tank. It's going to be hard to use these because they are so large and it's a decently small tank. So I'm going for the smaller rocks first. This one's pretty small, but it's kind of boring. It doesn't have many striations on it. The ones it does have are really thin. This one has big, thick ones. Don't mess up the wood too much. Leaf just came off of that Anubias. It's okay. So with the rocks, there's a little bit of a rule about the rocks, is that you want the striations to be facing about the same way. Again, if you don't like the way it looks like that, you can just do it the way you like, but that's like the rule to make it look more natural. I'm just trying to make the wood and the rock look like they belong together. A little tough. Oh, there, that's perfect. The way they match. This rock. And it's just one more in there. And I'm just making it what looks good to me. I like to put rocks in it in threes, which is just a preference. You don't have to do them in threes. There is a type of aquascaping called Iwagumi, which does require three groups of three or multiples of three in the rocks, but this is just a jungle aquascape, so it's not really necessary. There we go. So I've kind of fit things together where it felt natural. And I think that's all I'm going to do for the rocks. Maybe I'll... It's kind of a finicky thing. You gotta figure out what you like, and sometimes you'll finish it and you don't like it. This one doesn't have many striations on it at all, but it has a really interesting shape. That's why I use that one. What do you think, Mom?
I like it.
You like it? Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I don't like it.
Oh.
I love it.
So that's the hardscape, and with the Nubias and the moss in place. First thing I'm probably going to do is I'm going to take this bag, which if you guys remember has the rest of the moss in it, and I'm just going to stick it in there. Some of it will probably float away, but that's okay. Just adding a little bit of interest, make it look like those rocks have been there for years.
Can we pause for a second?
Yeah. Okay, and we're back. Mom grabbed me some super glue. We found a little more. I'm going to actually attach some of this moss to the top of the rock. A little thread mixed into the moss the other day. We'll let that dry on there a little bit.
Pause. Go.
Okay, so Mom put the phone down and wasn't recording me. I'll put a little more moss here. So you just, like I showed you the other day, you put a little super glue down. Grab a little moss. It's fine if the moss is wet. It's fine if the rock is wet. Water makes super glue dry faster. Try not to get rock wool in your moss like we did. Again, you can always stick some in between your rocks. The last little bit of moss I got here. Right there. There's probably gonna be moss floating when we're done, but that's okay. I've got the moss in. And I am keeping my plants wet. I have them down here in a bucket covered in cling film.
When are we going to plant those?
Yeah, we're going to plant them.
I said when?
Right now. We're about to. I brought my aquascaping tweezers. You could just use your hands if you want, but this makes it easy. They're just really, really long tweezers so you could reach down.
Okay, guys, we're going to set up the tripod and point it at the tank on the dressers. We'll be right back.
Okay, I'm back with the close-up. Mom's still here, but she's not behind the camera. She's behind me instead. I'm going to do my tissue culture cups first. So this is the crypts. There's a lot of plants on these. It's up to you what you want to do. Some people divide them into big clumps like this with like 5 or 6 plants. I like to divide them into individual plants like this little guy. These do get kind of large, so I'm probably eventually going to have to take them out, but at this point in time, they're really tiny, which is really common with tissue culture because they're in this little cup. That's all the space they got. So what I'm going to do, and it's going to take me a hot minute, is I'm going to actually divide these off camera, and then I will come back when they are all divided. Okay, guys, so I separated them all. I already planted a couple, as you can probably see. But I'm going to show you how I do that. So I just grab the base with the tweezers. It's the right side up. If the roots are particularly long, you can grab them kind of like that, so that you can add more structure to the roots. And you just stick it in there and bury it. And then you slowly, it's important to do it slowly, open the tweezers. and that helps prevent them from coming back up with the tweezers. Or if you already have the tank full of water, it helps stop them from floating back up. But I have a lot of these to do, so I'm going to do those, and we will be right back again. And I am also keeping the plants away. I am misting them. Whenever I see the leaves on the anubias are starting to get a little dry, I'll go through with the mister and spray them down. Yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so we went in and we planted all of the tissue culture plants. I also got the hydrocotyl in there. That one, because it was stuck in such big clumps, I just stuck it in there. But it's the same. You just rinse the gel off and you go from there. So we just have a couple more plants left. We have this anubia that fell off, but I don't know where it was, so I'm not going to reattach it. And this guy I'm actually just going to stick right in there. Let me turn the camera around. Okay. Sorry about the glass. I should have wiped the front off too. But I'm also going to plant these guys. These are, well, this one is dwarf tiger lotus, and this one's a dwarf aquarium lily. These guys are both really pretty plants I already owned, which is why you didn't see them in the unboxing. I forgot to show them earlier. They'll get really deep. This one will get really deep red with little red or lighter red spots or darker red spots. Since it gets so large, I'm gonna plant it back there. Just bury the little bulb. I'll do the same thing for the lily. These guys don't flower, but they will eventually grow leaves to the surface if you don't trim them. I will be trimming them. And then a second little guy. Okay, and I will be right back with another plant.
We're gonna check out of that.
Yeah,
stuff.
so I forgot to hit play. Karma for teasing Mom for it. But I planted these variegated plants in the back. Be very careful to make sure that they don't snap. If they do snap, it's not a huge deal. Just plant both halves. But the stem is very brittle and it's easy to just break them. Yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so we've got our last two plants. This sword, which I'm going to bury in this back corner. These guys are always the hardest to plant. They're not super fragile, so you can really just do that. And then this is the plant. This is my plant that all the other ones that Mom got that melted. It sends off runners and grows like little grassy shoots. But for now, I'm going to stick it back here at Mom's request. And it's okay to grab a little bit from the front. I'll have to replant a couple of the crypts. That's life. Make sure everyone's nice and buried.
Now we get to keep that filter clear.
Mm-hmm. There we go. So I do believe that is all the plants in place. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut and get ready to fill it up, and we'll show you how to do that too. Okay, so we're ready to add the first bucket of water. I have it filled up about a third of the way, just to make sure that it's not too heavy for me to lift. And what I'm actually going to do is, Mom, can you hold this and point it towards the tank so we can show them? I put that cling film in there. You can also use a plastic bag or paper towels or something like that. Make sure it's never been exposed to soap or anything. And I put it all over the wood and everything to help it block the flow of the water coming out of the bucket. You really want to do this slow. The slower you do it, the faster your tank will look clear. And especially when you have a dirted tank, you do not want to have too much, you don't want to disturb that dirt. I'm using my hand to direct it towards the front of the tank where the most plastic is. And just taking it, like I said, slow. Keeping an eye on everything. And it'll get easier the more full your tank is. And it's okay if some of the plants float back up. I'll go back through and replant them. And that's the first bucket in. You can see it's still very clear down below. Can they see that? It's not super cloudy at all, and that's because I rinsed the sand and I filled it up slowly. And I'm going to continue to fill it up slowly, so hopefully we have it looking nice and pretty right away. Yep, so we will be right back with the full tank. Okay guys, so the tank's all full of water. As you can see, there's quite a lot of bubbles. Those are normal. That's just a new tank. There's lots of air inside of tap water that just needs to get kind of dissolved into the water.
Which is black, white, and
you can see since we filled it up super slowly, the water's super clear, but there is a lot of moss and things floating around that got kicked up by the filter. Those will eventually all get sucked up into the filter and it'll all be good. So I'm going to show you guys the chemicals. We have Prime, which is a dechlorinator. I already have obviously a lot of it. You only need 2 drops per gallon, but I like pour a lot in there. You can't. It's impossible to overdose. You use too much, you're just wasting it. So we're gonna add, and that stuff acts instantly, by the way. So it immediately dechlorinates the water. The chlorine, if you leave it in your tap water, will kill a fish within a few hours. So you want to make sure to use that. It'll also kill the beneficial bacteria, which is what's in here. Give it a little bit of a shake. So it says about half a cup per 10 gallons. So I'm just going to pour it in there. Again, this stuff, it's also impossible to overdose.
But there is a hair in it.
I'm going to grab this.
Right down
It might help. It's really dark. It might help to have that light turned towards the fish tank. The light, behind us.
That's a weird thing for you to suggest in the middle of a video, Mom. Okay.
That lanyard in black.
And so this stuff, I'm gonna lift the lid for that because literally just pour it in. That felt like about half a cup, maybe a little more. So that's, like I said, gonna seed the filter, help grow lots of bacteria, make it safe for fish faster. And then we have the fertilizer. Give it a good shake. I don't know if it needs to be shaked, but at first we're just gonna do this once a week. And I'm probably only gonna give 1 cup pump once a week, just because there's lots of nutrients in that dirt for the plants. You gotta pump it a little bit. There we go. So that stuff goes in, and then we're cycling. You're gonna want to ghost feed the tank, which is where you pretend there's a fish in the tank, and feed it. That will provide food for the ammonia, and then sometimes it does take longer than a week. Sometimes it does take less time than a week. It really depends on the tank, and you should ideally have a testing kit in order to make sure that it's cycled before you add fish. But yeah, so that's it. We'll be back next episode. We'll be adding fish first time.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Bye.